Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing fine. I'm doing all right. I have a roast chicken in the oven with sweet potatoes, red potatoes, and baked apples, red ones and green ones, um, and a loaf of bread. So I'm just gonna make this kind of quick, say hi, and tell you what's on my mind about a video, or it's actually a live stream Global Witness is doing about. It says we are human hybrids, and I wrote I don't agree. We're humans unless we choose different, and it's separation time. Um, Being a hybrid from a human would be disgusting if you're human, because humans are above even the fallen angels, the demons. So, being a part of that, we're cleaning that out of our systems. We're not gathering that to us or being proud of any of that so called hybrid. God highly bred us to be incredible like we are, and our special abilities no hybrid could have. It's like they're trying to put a new name on a human being and make it more special than God already made us. And to me, I find that disturbing and disgusting. That's my opinion, you know. So that's what's on my mind. So, yeah, my supper's going to be really good. So, yeah. I haven't roasted a chicken for a long time. A lot of times I'll cook just like chicken breast, skinless, and they're easy too. you know, I like the frozen ones that are already just to cook. But yeah, it took more time just to um prepare the vegetables and everything, but just a minute. But we need that. Need more veggies in our lives, so yeah. And instead of making um like a couple loaves of bread, or usually like three of them or two giant ones, I made one giant round one. So it'll just go good with everything. So, oh, my Doug's cat is Mama. He's talking up a storm. I think it's the bread. He started really talking, yeah, when you can smell it baking. So he's just talking all about it. Usually, when I bake it, it smells good, and then I'll give him some, and he doesn't necessarily eat it. But I found out cats can have garlic. So last time I made garlic bread, he just loved it. So it's like, huh, that's cool. Give him something different, to chew on. So I gotta get kitty food tomorrow. But this morning I made them with extra dry milk because it's protein, and there's protein in oats. So I made them oatmeal with uh, extra milk in there, and cats can have honey. I just found that out a couple months ago, and so I put some honey in there for them. So they had oatmeal with honey, and then Bobby had some extra beef he didn't eat, and some cheese and a couple things I put with it. They just really enjoyed that. It wasn't like hot, but it was warm. So for them this morning. So, and they still have food out there too. Several dishes of stuff, but I just made them something because it was really cold, and they come out, they've got nice coats and everything, but yeah. Another thing I saw I wasn't too happy about was a guy dressed in drag. Okay, do that in your clubs and whatever. And but I mean to actually pretend that um like okay, I'm going to just spit it out the way it is in my mind's eye. I would not I wouldn't mind that person coming to a like a family get together and no love would be lost like that, you know. But he was a preacher teaching little four and maybe five at the most. But after he was done, dressed in drag, preaching in a church to little children, two little girls got up and ran. And I could hear this woman in the background. She was saying, "That's right, that's right." You know, he's like, "It's all about joy." He's got like long fake blonde hair. It's all about joy, and usually I am a boy every day, but I dressed up for the joy of it as a female today. And he flips his hair on both sides, you know, and I'm like, you scumbucket. You know, why? There's absolutely no reason that the old um just being myself type of thing. No, that's not yourself. That's Satan dressed up in your vessel, you know, harming children. So get them while they're young, Doug said today. I said, yeah, they sure are, aren't they? So, yeah, that's disturbing, you know. Like I say, do what you want in your own areas, but when you're involving children and families, you know, how about the families of the children that were at that church that would feel kind of powerless to speak up against that around their own children, and then what? They lose their church because God is not in that church. God would not dress up like a female and teach children the word of God. And he's sitting here and repeat after me, he says. And then they were praying, dear God, he says, you know, okay, whatever, you know. I found it disturbing. Anyway, men dressing up as women and taking estrogen and competing in women's sports like they weren't born a male with bigger bones and tougher skin and bulkier muscles and everything else. It's like, give me a break. You know, there's always a certain curve, usually, to a woman's body that isn't in a man's, you know, and there's a certain bulkiness to their torso or length to it that normally women don't have, you know. So all of it's kind of disgusting. What about women's sports? Now, a woman that wants a scholarship playing basketball or whatever has to compete against a man, you know? Hey, I've had men that thought they're competing against a woman in a physical manner, but I didn't have a choice, you know? And it's a very painful thing in more ways than one, on an emotional level too. So these women that are forced to compete with this person, that's and then it wins over a natural woman because it's not, you know. And we're just supposed to accept these things and say, "Oh, that's okay. The crazier this world gets, we just have to accept it because This is the way we're going to raise our children now, not to hate anybody. Well, I don't hate anybody. I wish no harm on nobody, you know, especially little kids being taught the word of God or anything else by a man dressed up as a woman. Is he going to take that little girl aside and tell her about her first menstrual period, too? You know? Or teach a boy the facts of life? Yes, of course they are. Yeah, whatever. Even if you're not taught that as a girl, that's a certain feeling that you get in your life the first time you get that. That is indescribable. There are literally no words to express the freak out of the whole situation. Ladies, you hear me? You know. And if you have pain or whatever, issues, you know. Well, I'm gonna leave it here tonight. I gotta go check that stuff bacon, maybe turn my loaf of bread around, and wanted to say hello and tell you about these few things that I've heard today that I didn't take too kindly to, and um I think there's some families out there that feel that way too. What's that song? You feeling that way too? Or am I? Or am I just a fool? Something about when the sun goes down, standing in the light. Oh, anyway, maybe I'll think of it something to know what's wrong or what's right. Are you feeling that way too? Journey? I don't know. I'll think on it. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Thank you for joining me.